How do, and welcome to the Pallet Palace Pompa. And what we're going to do today is we've got a couple of toys to stick on to the trusty old Vstrom. And one of the toys that we've got is this. Right, so it's a cheapo Amazon 25 quid, I think it cost me. It's TPMS, tyre pressure monitoring system. And so there's a little unit that's going to go on the handlebars. Here's the little bits that go on the valves, and we'll get that fitted up. It's USB powered. There is a little mount with it as well, so we'll get that stuck on. We'll get all that wired up. Okay, we'll not bother showing you a boring one of how to fit all that, but we're gonna fit that on. Then the other one we've got as well is, so I used to have what's known as a Jamie Jones fuse box. That anybody who goes on the Facebook Vstrom, Suzuki Vstrom UK owners, it's quite familiar. There's a bloke out there, Jamie Jones, who makes little auxiliary boxes, and basically you wire them in under your seat, find your switch live, connect it up to that, which means any of your auxiliary stuff, sat nav, your fog lights, anything like that you're going to wire in, heated grips. If you haven't got these Oxford ones, which automatically turn off anyway, so you don't really need to put that through. Any other USB auxiliary stuff that you're going to wire through, you wire it through that, and obviously when your ignition's off, it's not draining your stuff down. However, I've plumped for, because I've seen these and I thought, oh, you know what, I'll give it a try. So this is the Healtech Thunderbox, and it pretty much works the same way, but you don't have to do any messing about apparently to find your switched live. You can just wire this up in there onto your battery, and then these are little clicker boxes, so you just literally don't solder anything, push them in, neutral, live, clip them down, and wire up your devices on there. And I think they can take up to 4 devices. So currently I've got my sat nav goes directly to the battery, and I think these fog lights go directly to the battery. So I'm going to wire them so that they go directly through the Thunderbox, which means if the ignition's turned off, the Thunderbox, a little bit of trickery inside, decides that, oh, right, it knows that the voltage isn't coming through because it's not charging, yada yada yada, it turns off. So that'll save you from getting stuff going flat. And the other one that we did swap out, which I've already done, is, I'll just reach for them. As standard on the Vstrom, the later models, they come with the good old-fashioned 12-volt. Right, and it's just a bit of a bind because of what we're doing is most of the stuff I have USB, so we're having to plug that in, and it's just an extra bullet. You can get double ones of them, but I'd had enough of that, so I've replaced the 12-volt cigarette lighter with, again, Amazon special, and I think it cost me 15 quid for a dual pack of these. And then we've got these on here. It's supposed to do fast charging, and it lights up blue, and is also, you can turn it off if you wanted. But that's wired through the ignition anyway, because it's the factory standard wiring that we've gone for. And again, dead easy to fit. Take the dash off, snip the wires, take the old one out, put that one in, get it soldered up, bish bash bosh, done. I got a pack of 2 because I am thinking at some point I'm going to fit the second one somewhere around the rear. And what I've got to do now is decide whether I'm going to actually go into the bike's plastics. That's all my outside furniture cushions falling over. Whether I'm going to go into the outside at the back and cut a hole in the plastics, which I'm not really keen on, or make a separate little bracket that this can hang around at the back somewhere, for two reasons. Number one, if you've got pillion on, and I use the Senna, and you can charge your Senna as you're going. So if you're a long trip and you need to charge up your Senna, you know, or somebody needs to charge the phone who's on pillion, or power banks, or heated vests, yada yada, you can plug them directly in at the back rather than having wires coming all the way through. And the other one is, if I'm taking out my drone or things like that, I can have them in the top box and then have a wire coming straight through and have them plugged in to charge at the back, rather than having to have them all on my tank bag, which is what I currently do. Throw everything in the tank bag that needs charging and have it plugged in directly. So that will be at a later date when I decide how I'm doing it. Okie doke. So the first one we're going to do is the Healtech Thunderbox. So I'm going to reposition the camera and see if I can get it in a better spot that you can see what's going on, what we're doing, and we'll crack on with that. Okie doke. So hopefully we're in a position that can see. I'm going to look up and yeah, we should be alright there. Okay, so here's his battery, and we've got our Healtech Thunderbox over here. Just take this stuff out. We're not going to need that. So this is if you do want to wire it to switch live. However, I'm not going to use it. And there's the instructions and the user manual. But you know what? I'm a bloke. I'm not going to use that. So yeah, so the wire I'd plug into there if we're going to take it to a switch live. So we're not going to use that one. We're just going to use red and black terminals for the battery. There we've got a live, there's neutral. At the moment I've just got two on here, which are heated grips and sat nav. So I bought this bike already with the fog lamps on, had a look, and I don't think the switch is working. It's gone a bit iffy, so we've got to see about doing that. I'm probably going to have to order a switch and see how they're wired in as well. So we're just going to replace the heated grips and the sat nav. And in fact, I might even just leave the sat nav, heated grips on, which is which. So quick way of telling. I don't you won't be able to see up here. So I've turned the heated grips on the ignition. Let's just quickly pull this fuse. Yeah, so that is my heated grips one. So that's the heated grips. And then this one should be the sat nav. And way to double check would be find the sat nav. But I don't know where I put it. Anyway, so we're going to take these off. Okay. Let's just see if we can get in there with that. That's all good. Boom. Okay, so there's the two earths. I'm just gonna quickly put that on there just to hold it on. We'll fasten it properly later. Like a fool, I've left the ignition switched on. Not the best. Just turn it off. I'm going to take these two off. Okie dokie. Right, so we've got two things there. Now, if we were going to remove both these, like I say, I think I'm possibly going to leave the sat nav, the heated grips connected directly to the battery, because I've got 4 auxiliaries, so I might want to free one up later. So let's put that one back on using that and that. Job's a good one. It's not going to go round, is it, like a swine? Come on, today. We'll tuck that in a bit better later. Just stopping it. Let's get it neat and tidy if we can now. Okie doke. Get that up tight. Okay, that's his cover there. And then we're going to put back on the negative. We're just going to pop the heated grips back on. Snip that up tight. Cool. Make sure we've got ignition. Yeah. Right, so that's all good. And then we've got our box, and they do come with a little bit of Velcro that we can stick it to somewhere. And I'm thinking, move this light around, whether we could get it in there. Yeah, probably go in there on top of the battery. I'm not sure if it'll stick in down the side. In fact, it'll probably just sit there actually. That'll do. And we'll look about getting some cable ties on later. Cool. I've not used the Velcro just yet. So that's the Healtech connected up. Now all we've got to do is decide what wires are going in here. And we already said we were going to use this one and this one. So we just got to snip them off and stick them into there and snap them shut. I just lift up like so, push in and snap down. So let's get them snipped off. Snip that. And hopefully that should fit in, and it's not going to be too thick. Sod's law, it probably is. That's shoved right in there. Snap that down. That's holding that in. That's as I've done. And then same again. Lift that one up. Shove it home. Snap it down. And that's that. So then all we've got to do is decide how we're going to tidy up this rat's nest. And we've got three left there that we can use at any time. So I'll probably just get some cable tidies, some zip ties, and tidy that up just a little tad. And that should be good to go. And all the thing we've got left to do is find the sat nav and test it. Make sure it's working. Okay, so we've got the sat nav on. Although, whilst I've just been finding it, I'm not totally convinced that it's turning off the power to it. And I don't know if that's to do with this mount that I've got, where it's pulling the power through. What it should do is tell you that external power lost, device will check for any updates and turn off. Currently, when I put it on, and the ignition's been off some time, and I did it to check because I don't know if you can just see there. So the heated grips, they will turn off automatically and turn off at the same time. Whilst we're here, I'll just show you the there we go. So there's the USB that we fitted, and you can turn it off there. I think that's just a light, to be honest. I'm not sure if it turns off the actual charging. I'll have to check. So that's that. And then, as ever, I can show you how this sort of works. Going forward, what I generally do is I have that plugged into there. So I've got a cable coming out the back of my tank bag. It goes into there. I get my bottles of water out of the way. And then I have charge banks here that plug in and they're constantly charging. And then I feed my stuff into that to charge up. So various cameras and things like that. So we've got the Hero 11 and the Insta360. So that's how it should work. But I'm not convinced that's turning off, which means I may have to do this switched live. So we'll report back on that and we'll see how that goes. So the next thing is I'm going to do the TPMS and then we can show you that. So that's a quick messing about, getting it fitted on, getting it set up. Although I wasn't going to read the instruction manual, good job, because there wasn't one with it. But there you can see we've got it set up, quickly gone through the settings. Bottom one is to set, just like an old digital watch. Top one selects it. For some reason, it doesn't like me trying to set it at 12:48 p.m. God knows. To be honest, I'm not right bothered about the time. Main thing we bought it for is the tyre pressures. As you can see, it's reading the front tyre at 31 psi and it's reading the rear at 38. I think the front should be 34, and I've just tightened them ones up. And yeah, so do I turn the compressor on and have a quick blast and see if I can do it quickly? Do you know what? Why not? Let's just do it. Let's get the compressor on. And then if I can move this without it, you get a little proprietary spanner, which I thought to myself, I'll make sure I put that somewhere safe where I won't lose it. Guess what? 5 minutes ago, I put it down somewhere safe, and yeah. So that's the so that's a little like proprietary spanner you get. So when you fit them on, you've got a little nut to put on first, so you can make a nice tight fit. Let's just take this off, loosen it off, remove it. So there's the actual thing itself. There we go, we're getting an error, which is good, means it's reading from it. I'll just quickly get, let's see if we can stick a bit of air into this. Now, I don't think that's going in, so that's a bit of a pain in the spuds, because that is a little nut you've got to put on the valve first. So when you put the two things on, you can tighten them against each other so you get a nice tight seal. As I'm trying to inflate the tyre now though, it's not going all the way on. so it's not taking the air. Let's just try again with it off. Now seems a bit better. Right, let's give it a bit of blast there. Fasten it all back up. Helps if you don't drop it. So it's telling me massive over now, right? And I did go over just to see what it'd do. So it's not doing so bad. And I guess all we need to do now is it is letting some out. Maybe not enough. 43. Make it go a bit quicker. $39. $38, $35, that'll do. So we'll turn it up. $35, $38. That'll do us. Should be about 34, I think. So yeah, we can see it's working. Also gives you the tyre temperature as well, which can be handy. Not like I'm going to be bothered about when my tyres are really heated up before I start whacking it around, because I don't really whack it around. So 25 quid. Is it a gimmick? Yeah. If you're out and about on a long trip, on a tour, fully loaded, handy to know if that starts dropping, you need to be pulling over and having a look. Obviously, if you've got a big puncture straight away, you should be knowing, but could just be a bit of a handy little tool for the sake of 25 quid. So that's it. We've fitted the Healtech and we've fitted the TPMS and shown you the USB that we've added, and Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock. So I also did another little treat to myself yesterday. So I've upgraded from my old Oxford Montreal sort of winter rainy kit, pants and jacket. I went over to Sportsbikeshop in Leeds yesterday. I went to try them on. Yeah. Well, I bought them while I was there. So I've got the Mondial 1.0 Technical Advanced, whatever its name is. There's a new Mondial out, which is the laminate kit from Oxford. So the 1.0, I think it's 4 or 5 year old now, and then they just brought a new one, which means the older one drops in price. So what should have been 550 quid, and I think that's what the new stuff is. It's now dropped down to 350, so 200 for the jacket, 150 for the pants. So I thought, do you know what? Treat myself to them. From all the reviews that I've seen, they're supposed to be really good, and you should be able to ride about even when it's raining in some of the great, fantastic northwest weather that we get, and not have to worry about getting and stopping and putting your waterproofs on. So I have got an all-in-one waterproof thing, which came massively into play when we were up in Scotland a few years ago, because it was just torrential all the time. The problem I find with the all-in-one stuff, yeah, they're all right and everything else, yada yada. By the time you think, right, I'll have to pull over and put that on because it's now raining, you're already wet, and you put it on, and especially like the sort of weather that we're having now around here, which is, it could be pissing it down for 10 minutes, get drenched, and then that's it, it won't rain again. So by the time you've pulled over, got stopped, put it all on, it stopped raining and you're already wet. So I just thought, right, I'm going to upgrade to these. So I fully intend on getting out and about and having a quick ride out for a few hours and see if that sat-nav thing does turn off or not, and whether we need to look at the Healtech or maybe speak to them and say, well, what's going on. I have a sneaky suspicion it's the mount that I'm using, because it's not just direct from the USB. I think if I powered it from the USB, I'd get a different reaction. So, and then also at some point I'm going to have to look at them fog lights because they're not working. I suspect it's the switch, it's cheapo switch that's gone. So we'll just replace the switch, and again, maybe look at getting them wired into the Healtech, because from what I can remember, like I say, I've only had the bike a few months and not really checked it out, but what I can remember, they were staying on, so yeah, not the best. So I'll probably edit all this together and I'll see you out on the road, and I'll be on the Senna then, and we'll do a bit of a chat about the Mondial as well. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute.
Recording.
Well, here we are, sat on the M62, and I'm going back to the Sportsbikeshop. So, you might have heard earlier when I said, oh, I bought myself the Mondial Jacket, and I'm wearing it, and I bought the pants. Now, I made a little boo-boo yesterday because I tried on the Mondial 2, not the Mondial 1 pants, by mistake. And then when I got to a counter, she said, oh, that's lovely, that's £450. I'm like, you what? It's not 450 quid, it should be 350. She's like, no, the pants are too... I'm like, oh, right, I've got the wrong pants. Oh, can you get me a pair of the Mondial 1 in a large short ass? Which she duly did, and we got it sorted, and I paid, and I left. And then I got everything ready. Oh, I'm going to go out for a bit, a couple of hours. Just said to our lass, nip out for a couple of hours, come back, I'll take you out somewhere for tea. However, that plan has changed somewhat, because I come to put them on, and the large short in the one ain't big enough for this fat ass. So I thought, well, I was going to go out anyway, so I'll ride over to Sportsbike. And then by the time I was setting off, I'm having a look, and it's like, if I would have gone the non-motorway, best route, yada yada, it probably would have took me about 2 hours. And I would have been tight for getting there before they shut at 4 o'clock. So I decided what I'd do is jump on motorway and make it there. Now, according to the good old Zoomer, it says I'll be there for 3 o'clock, which gives me time to get there, explain my stupidness, and swap the trousers, try them on, make sure I get the right size, and then what I think I'll do is wear them back, and then possibly, depending on how far our lass is going to wait around for me, I can either jump back on motorway and be back in time to take me for something to eat, or go long way Oh, really yielded. So that's where I'm off to now. The other little boo-boo I totally forgot about was disconnecting battery, resets it to kph, so yeah, and I forgot how to, so I didn't do it. So I had to have a quick Google when I pulled up to put some fuel in. And if anybody is interested, I'm not sure, I think 650 same, if I remember. You literally have to have it on your total mileage.
Roadworks were reported on M62.
Cheers, zoom on. So you've got to have it on your total mileage using your selection bit here. Total mileage, once it's on total mileage, hold your finger on adjust and it'll flick over, and then you can make sure you're on imperial gallons or US gallons. So 30 seconds of a job. There's the TPS thing. Now, interestingly, because I can't set temperatures properly here, I mean that's a bit of a downside to it, but it's saying my tyre pressures have gone up. So it's currently showing us 37 up front and 44 up rear. Interesting. Or is whether because I'm sat on it. Yeah. So worth keeping an eye on. There's the USB charger. And also, I'm taking my time on here because as I got on to the M62, where the M66 joins, I seen loads of flashes in the gantry. Oh yes, I did. So it's a behave yourself if you can day on here. Let's just get out quick. And for any that don't know, this little bit of the M62 we're coming up to very shortly is the highest motorway in England. Ah yes, you can see it as it bends round up there. Just nip out from all these, look. Do it again. Slip back in. So, yeah, the Mondial Jacket so far. Gotta be honest, painting tits with gauntlet gloves on, and I'm not wearing my short ones. I thought I'd try it with these gauntlet. So, yeah, bit of a nuisance with that. Might have a look at some short ones anyway. The zip pockets, so I've left the liner in. It's currently showing at 17 degrees up here, and to be honest, I'm just right at the minute. I've got a t-shirt on, I've opened up them, and I'm just right. Yeah, I'm not. I was sweating my tits off when I set off, to be honest. I've got my XL Moto cargo pants on. But yeah, the jacket seems right enough, roomy. Obviously, the last one was an XL. I might have put a bit of timber on, so I've gone for 2XL, and it's comfortable. You know, it's not. Yeah, it's not pulling round me gutter out like that, which is what you want if you're going to be sat. Oh, just creeping up there, lad. Behave yourself. Drop it down a bit. Why are you indicating to come over, you clown? You're not coming over. So yeah, it's been quite windy as well. And usually when you come over on this motorway, you can see it's just drops a degree, so it's 16 and it's been 18 everywhere else. Drops a couple of degrees when you get up here, and I can't really tell. So it's comfy, and like I say, it's warm enough at the minute, and I'm not too hot, and I have got the lining in. Whether I'd take the lining out the pants on the way home, don't know. So what I was going to say, these things here, at least they're not pockets on the chest. You unzip it and you can feel it back for the mesh. They've just definitely blocked him in, haven't they? It's not the easiest snapping them back. You can't sort of find the press stud. I think myself, it probably would have, it's just a bit awkward, so I can't pin that back. I don't know if you can see that in the mirror. But whilst riding, and it's Velcro that holds it on bottom, myself, they probably would have been better having Velcro there. But then I get it, because the Velcro would have been showing and it would have been naff and yada yada yada. So yeah, you'd have to pull over to do it right, I think. And again, I haven't got cruise control, so if I want to do the right hand one, you've got to take it off and pull clutch it to stop it, engine braking or whatever. So that's where we are, on 62, going back to Sportsbikeshop to swap the pants because I've had too many pies. So we'll speak to you all in a bit.